have with us next Rex Karmavir Global Fellow from 2012. Another ad man. Seems the afternoon is full of ad men, right? The sharks have taken over, yeah? So we have Rahool Saksena who's going to speak about being able, he's going to speak about enabling the I. Enabling the I. Rahool Saksena.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It feels very nice to be back here and meet some of the old friends. Very inspiring sessions, lots of learnings from Swamiji, and before that, from my ad colleague. I will speak on a subject called enabling the I. To set the context, I'll have to share with you a few images so that you understand where I'm coming from. And I made a special request if I could show you a few visuals, because it's very difficult to explain what I do. I'll request Hunar to just play those pictures. Hunar? This is actually called the art of change. So what I've been doing now for more than a decade is I relinquished by choice a fairly successful career in advertising. This was 2002, to pursue my own passions, which are many. So I work with different kinds of mediums to create art. And invariably that art stands for something or represents something. It's very interesting, and over the last few years, there's probably no medium that I've not worked with. So from something for AirAsia, which you saw, which is going to be made very soon, using actual red chilies and white rice as the medium. You would have seen something called, there's glass, there's wood, there's automobile parts, there is metal, there is all kinds of material mediums available to us. And as Swamiji was saying, mostly people see the black dot. But if you look at the white board, it opens up multiple possibilities. Make sense? Yeah, so it's just a matter of how you view things, and I decided to view things a bit differently. And when you take a bold step, paths open for you. It was very difficult at that point in time, but I said, if not now, then when? And so I started this journey, and because of this nature of work, which is very different, I obviously get invited in various forums to speak about it. And a few years back, I was in my school and talking in the school there, and the teacher and the principal said, we would want you to come back and speak to the children. And I love talking to children. And when I came back, I said, if I go back and speak to children, what's the joy? I mean, I will show the pictures are clear, they will all clap, and they say, very nice, very creative, but how does it help us? And I came back and I started pushing. And I said, where can this lead to? And very simple thoughts started falling in place and falling together. Art of change is actually about transformation. It is, it can be. And I said, if that is possible, then why not I am, I can be? And every human being is actually very capable of becoming whosoever he or she wants to be. Young children are extremely malleable. They're like a rubber band. They can stretch themselves in any direction and decide to become what they want to be. The issue I see around is most people do not even know what they want to be. A lot of my friends are doing very, very well in the corporate world or wherever they are, but outside when you talk to them, they say, we don't know what we are chasing. And I had a great conversation this morning with the lead India runners-up, who's a good friend of mine, Sanjeev Kaura, on the same subject. So it is about enabling children to find their I. So I went around, and if you see the kind of things that I do and is given some time, it adequately demonstrates that anything can become anything. And then it challenges the child, what can you become? And then I said, there's truth in this, let me read up. And I have read more than 1,000 success stories from all walks of life. And I came to 3 clear conclusions, 3 amazing commonalities across success stories from all walks of life. Names that need no introduction. Sachin Tendulkar, Pele, Elvis Presley, Mother Teresa, Jamshedji Tata, Dhirubhai Ambani, Neil Armstrong, and many, 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 many more. I found out Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, they had all found out who they wanted to be between the ages 5 and 15. Invariably. And as Maria Montessori said, it is the child that makes the man, and no man exists who was not made by the child he once was. So every child is capable of deciding who he or she wants to be. So they found it early, they cut the spark early. The second thing, of course, is the belief in oneself and the confidence to take action in that direction. Many people think they know what they want to do and they wait for one fine day. And third, of course, is the persistence and the passion to see it through and become what you really want to be. And I've been speaking in a few schools doing the programs, and I can tell you, as again somebody was saying about the Prime Minister, I've actually met young children, 8 years old, 9-year-olds, and the twinkle in their eye when they write and read out what they want to be, it is so powerful. So powerful. I just take a couple of examples. I met this boy, 13-year-old, at a school in Munnar called the High Range School. He walked up to me with such confidence at the end of it and he said, I want to join the army, but today I'm telling you, and he looked me in the eye, one day I will be the general. He got that confidence, he got that spark. He's in touch with me over mail. Another girl, 8-year-old girl, class 3, and she speaks on a video in front of an audience as big as this, saying, I've decided, and I'm quote unquote because I listen to her very often, she's inspirational, I've decided to become a trainer so that I can bring out the best in other people. I met a 9-year-old boy who says he wants to be the world's best archaeologist. And he's drawn a photograph of a drawing of his receiving a trophy which says world's best archaeologist. And as an outcome of that, he's now been connected and is being mentored by one of the history teachers in Chennai. So the ability to find that spark early and make the right connections is what Enable I is all about. Any questions from anybody?
You're talking about children who wanted to be such interesting and such powerful things when they were at a very young age. But how about the fact that living in a country like India, where parents are always pushing them to become doctors and engineers and things, how are they going to get the willpower and get their parents to agree with them if, suppose, they want to be a trainer and their parents want them to be a doctor?
Lovely question. In fact, many people have told me you should do the program for parents and not the children. So what we invariably try and do, we encourage the parents to come in for the program as well. It's important for them both to be on the same page. And this particular instance, I'm telling you, the mother and father are also there in that forum. It's actually very important because invariably the child wants to be something else. And then parents have completely different ideas for their children. And there was a time many years back you could either become a doctor or an engineer. Today you'll be surprised at the number of kids I meet who want to become chefs and radio jockeys and artists and compeers and anchors, and all kinds of possibilities have opened up. So that's a very nice question. I also encourage them to write and then make it a habit. You know, there's a book called, anyway, let me take questions, then I will.
My name is Parvati.
Yes, Parvati.
Thank you for that. I was just wondering, after you've crossed that age that you were talking about,
Yeah.
is it too late? Can that spark still happen?
Good question again. In fact, in some meetings, they've also asked me that maybe children can come under pressure if they don't. It is not necessary to get it that early. The fact that you're sensitized to the fact that there's a purpose and a direction in life is a good beginning. Many people find it much later in life. I'm also working on a module where many people have actually had a very successful second innings where they rediscover themselves in midlife. So that's a very valid question. I hope I've answered it right for you.
Hi, this is not a question, but I just want to share my one personal experience and how true it rings in what you just said. My daughter went in for her bachelor's in design,
Yep.
and because we saw a creative spark in her, and despite being very good in English and the obvious choice of getting into journalism or English, she chose to do this. When she was interviewed by a very senior designer from the UK, in the interview, she was asked a question saying, she went through a grueling tests and all that, and we were kind of keeping our fingers crossed because none of us ever had been in that particular area. She was asked this question saying, what do you see yourself to be?
Yeah.
Why have you chosen this particular line of, instead of the normal stuff? And instant answer was that I see myself in the Kodak Theatre, winning the Oscars.
She will get it.
I don't know whether she'll get it, but everybody
She'll
was
get it.
astounded. And the fact is that I think, it's interesting that people actually discover this. And we were so proud that, that someone is actually thinking that way. So I'm actually waiting to be invited to the Oscars, by the way.
I was reading a book the other day which says it needs 10,000 hours of practice of anything to become a champion.
Oh, Malcolm Gladwell, huh?
All right? I knew somebody will take the name. Now, it makes immense sense because there's that much things that you have to do in the day. And there's little time left for what you want to do. So even if you give it 2 hours a day, in 1 year, you can clock 700 hours. And in 10 years, you will clock 7,000 hours. So in 20 years, close to 15 to 20 years, and when you can actually do that if you do it every day. Now work backwards. If you don't start by the time you're 10 and 15, when do you become that?
And we have Hunar Brar giving away the certificate to Mr. Rahool Saksena. Thank you, Rahool. Brilliant.